30 Days Shaolin, Day 21, Tiger Claw Training, Part 1. When I first started learning Shaolin Kung Fu in our school, I had heard of our Sifu's legendary Tiger Claw power. And so of course I wanted to try it out for myself, and sure enough, when my Sifu gripped my arm, I was unable to move or lift my arm. So it felt like something from his fingers was flowing up my arm and causing pain to the whole of my arm. This was just a small demonstration of his Tiger Claw, but from that moment on I was hooked on the Tiger Claw and wanted to develop a good Tiger Claw myself. So there was various training methods of the Tiger Claw that he has shown over the years. Some of them were the sort of the old, more external methods that he chose or that he trained when he was younger. And then later he moved to the more internal aspects. The internal aspects is training the chi to develop the internal force, as opposed to working on the external aspect, which would develop more strength. Later on, actually, when you've already got the skills of being able to develop internal force, what might be classed as external training methods like holding jars, or in this case in this video is holding blocks of wood, you can still train the internal force as long as the body, the mind is relaxed, not purposely tensing. You're in a qigong state of mind, then you can develop internal force as a result of that type of training. So the internal training, if we called it the internal training, is the Fierce Tiger Cleanses Claws, which I'll show in another video. The tiger form trains bone, which means internal force. So internal force is not just for fighting, but it also has three main functions, which is maintaining life, enhancing life, and giving us better results no matter what we do. So training Tiger Claw is extremely useful in everyday life. So two of the advanced Shaolin arts include Dim Mak and Chin Na. Both of these are trained in the one finger shooting Zen. The Dim Mak uses one finger Zen, and Chin Na uses the Tiger Claw. There was a story that our Sifu once told us about his Sifu, and he had been challenged by a Taekwondo master who was watching his Sifu teach for a little while, and he asked him, "So what is that you're teaching?" "It's called one finger shooting Zen," answered his Sifu. "Oh, can it be used for fighting?" he asked. "Of course," his Sifu said. "Every technique in Shaolin Kung Fu can be used for fighting." And the Taekwondo master looked puzzled. "Can you show me?" he asked. "Yes," my Sifu said. He asked his students to move aside, and then he told the Taekwondo master, "Now you can attack me in any way that you want." The Taekwondo master gave my Sifu a very fast side kick. My Sifu retreated a small step to avoid the kick and used his right forearm of single Tiger Claw to support the kicking leg. Then he circled his arm in a single tiger pattern so that his forearm and upper arm locked the opponent's foot. His Tiger Claw gripped the opponent's knee, and with his thumb pressing on the opponent's vital point, causing him much pain. The opponent, standing on one leg and being off balanced, was quite helpless. Now this is not the choice pattern of this situation, but I want to use the same Tiger Claw pattern in one finger shooting Zen sequence to show him that there is a combat application in what we're training, my Sifu added. So is it better to train internal methods or better to train external methods? Well, before I started in Shaolin Kung Fu, most of my training consisted of external method training. And I built up a good speed and power, a good muscle strength as well. But in comparison to the speed and power that I've got now, in my 40s than what I did in 20s, I would say that now my speed and power is far better than it was back in my 20s. Also, the training the internal methods trains the chi, so the kung fu and the energy is alive, whereas the external methods that I used to train was more like a dead weight in my body. In fact, looking back now, it did actually hinder my progress, and it took me a while to undo what I've already did as part of that training before I could really train the internal side within the Shaolin Kung Fu. So what I'm doing in this video is actually would be considered internal training, not external training. Why? Because I was physically, mentally and emotionally relaxed. I wasn't tense in my body or tense in my muscles. I wasn't worrying about what I was doing, and the mind was the important relaxed part of the training there, which helps develop the internal force. So by being in the horse riding stance for some time and then coming out of the horse riding stance, holding onto these blocks, my chi is actually flowing here. The chi flow is fairly still, so that the chi can be generated into the fingertips and as part of the Tiger Claw training. So I'd say the internal training far outweighs the external training methods. Of course, as part of the internal training methods as well, we train the one finger shooting Zen set that's been passed to us from our Sifu. Not only does this train the one finger Zen for the Dinmak, but it also trains the Tiger Claw as well. So now I'm going to share an important story that our Grandmaster Wong has told many of his inner chamber disciples, that when he first learned from Grandmaster Ho Fat Nan, the third generation successor from the Southern Shaolin Temple, Grandmaster Ho said, "Many people have said that they learn Kung Fu, meaning force training, but what they actually learn is just Quan Fa, meaning combat techniques. Now you learn two of the best Kung Fu in Shaolin, namely One Finger Zen and Tiger Claw." This was when Grandmaster Ho taught Grandmaster Wong One Finger Shooting Zen. One Finger Shooting Zen is an amazing exercise to develop internal force and mental clarity, which not only enhances the combat efficiency, but more significantly gives us good health, vitality, longevity and spiritual joys. Of course, it really does need to be learned personally from a competent teacher, not just from the book or these videos, which would only show you really the outward forms. A lot of what's actually learnt and taught within the Kung Fu is hidden, which is probably why so many people have ended up only learning the external aspects of the Kung Fu and not the internal. At this year's UK summer camp, Sifu Wong will be teaching the One Finger Shooting Zen set, as well as various other foundation training of Kung Fu.